Okay, I couldn't find a video anywhere showing how to install the Anzzi. I'm not sure which one it is, but they make one that's for a tub, and then they make one that's for just a walk-in shower. And this is obviously for the tub. So the first thing you want to do is throw those away, because these are absolutely and utterly useless. But don't throw those away if you're not going to watch this video. We basically figured out on our own how to do this yesterday because the directions were so absurd. So the minimum opening that you want here, I would recommend, would be this size tub. And this size tub is, let's see, I think it's 78. No, sorry, 78. What am I talking about? It's 58 and a half. You can do it on smaller tubs. It's just the doors are going to be overlapping. So you actually could do it on a smaller tub. So first thing you want to ask yourself is, which side do you want the door to slide open on? And we did one yesterday, and we actually put the door that slides open on this side because the space between the toilet and the tub is just, you'd be like, and then getting in, and I don't know. I'm actually considering putting the door on this side, but technically you want the door to open on this side because you stand right here and you're getting water on you. But what side do you think we should do it on? Same side? Because the toilet is just so close.
Yeah, left side.
Same as the other one?
Well, somebody probably took a shower.
Yeah, let's take a look and see. Oh. Chico! No, Chico. Uh-oh. Whoops. Sorry, Chico. I didn't mean for that to happen. So, it's just, you barely have any space right here. I mean, literally, I can't get my shoulders. It's just super tight. So we put it on this side, and it's fine. It's fine when you close this all the way. Oh, well, they got that in the way now. But this, if that wasn't there, this closes. But you have an overlap here, so it's, this is completely dry. We sealed this with silicone the whole way through. So that's the first thing you want to decide, which side you want it on. It's just so much nicer on this side because then you can just dry off right here. So, but this is what it's going to look like when you're done. And so we're going to show you how we did it. That's not going to stay up. Yep. All right. Well, there you go. All right. So left side.
Yeah.
It's just so much nicer on the left side. There's a lot more space on this one, but it's still like you can't even fit a bath mat right here. Okay, so first step, how we did it is we measured, and we're gonna put the rail down. So this is the rail right here. You have this thing right here. This is just Chico's blind, he can't see anything. This is just a beauty cover, basically. So don't try to fit this on the bottom of the glass because that's not what it's for. It's just, it goes on the side of the sliding part of the door, because one side of the door that stays affixed sits in this rail, right? And then the other side of the door that slides does not sit in this. It sits outside of this actually. And this little thing right here is just a beauty cover. This is actually what the door slides in. This is what keeps it from, flopping around in the wind. So, okay, we're gonna set this. So measure your opening, measure it, do the measurement to this, cut it with a bandsaw. That's what we used. Okay, we got that sucker in. Now you want this to be as close to the edge of this as possible because you're gonna have this little guy right here, which is very important. This is what keeps the sliding door in place. So put that closest to the side as you can without it see, that's too much because the edge of this is coming over where this starts to curve. So just keep that in mind. But if you don't have enough space, it would be better to have this kind of coming off the edge than it would this. So, okay. So that's going to go something like that. But now you want to find your center, which was, what was it?
29.25.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It's 58 and a half divided by 2.
So 29.25. Okay. Measure that real quick. Did you just do that in your head, or do you remember from yesterday?
No, I measured just a minute ago.
So right there, 29.25. So let's just make sure. Measure from that side to that side. That's correct. So we have 29.25 this way, and then look at that. Nope, that's 29.5, guy. Wait, it was 29 and 5/16 is what it was. So that's 29 and 3/8. It was 29 and 5/16. I remember. That's actually close enough, to be honest with you. And something to note is you do not put this center of that. You line these little guys. That little guy is supposed to be center with that. So about like that. It's kind of stupid, but it works. Okay. So now we only did 2 holes, so we didn't want to put a bunch of holes in the tub. So we you want to drill the holes first, right? So I like. So just make sure this is nice and center. Okay. Just take a look at it both ways, and then mark where you're gonna drill. We drilled one there, and we drilled one here, and then we put a bead of silicone on the bottom of this thing. So now we're gonna drill those. I just got some bimetal bits here. It's gonna depend on what material you have, but this is some kind of cheapy cast iron. I don't even know if it's cast iron, but the paint chipped a little bit, so to avoid that you could put a piece of tape over this and do it that way so it doesn't cause the enamel or whatever is on this to chip. Let's go with a smaller bit today, yeah? So we can use those smaller screws. What about this guy? So before you drill, it's really nice to have one of these I don't know what this tool is called, but I use it for drilling hard surfaces like tile. Because what happens is if you put your bit on there, it's gonna kind of not stay on the mark. So if you take this, you put the tip right on the black where you want to drill. You don't have to kill this. You just give it a nice little hit like that. This will give your bit something to, you might have to hit it a little harder with this, but this works better with tile. It just puts a little indentation in the material and then keeps your bit from walking all over the place. Got the holes drilled. Now bead of silicone, and don't cover the holes because it'll be hard to see, because you got to line up the holes here. So just go zip, zip, go ahead. Yep. There'll be enough in there. Hold on, I gotta hold this on this side. Okay, go ahead. You're gonna. That's as far as I can. There you go.
I guess the middle holes went in there, so no screws.
Hmm?
Those two center holes, is there no screws going in there?
Yeah, you can put it on there. You're also gonna use some Lexel sealant. That's it. You're gonna have to clip the thing here, unless you already did. So now just flip this around. I'll show you here. So just flip it around. Make sure your holes are lined up. They are. And then just put the screws in there. Something you want to be very cautious of is make sure the holes you drill aren't too big. Otherwise, these won't sit in there. So you want the drill bit to be just slightly smaller than these, and just, you know, line up the drill bit and kind of look at it and see. But yeah, you know, we've been doing stuff like this for so long that you can usually just get an idea what size drill bit you need. But if you do drill a hole that's too big for the screws that come with it, you can always get fatter screws that will sit in there. And that's what we did yesterday. Brent had some fatter screws and worked fine. Okay, now you got this in. So you find center, which is this second one. You line this little groove right there, that little thing sticking out. You line that up. Boom. Mark your holes, drill them, put a bead of silicone on the back of this, and then screw them in. So you got your rail in, you got your guide in. Now what did we do next? We set up, we put the guides on the doors, right? That's what we did. Yeah. And then, so what we did, in my opinion, was quite easy. This is a two-man job. You're gonna need two people. But let's just, we'll show you. Okay, so you want to make note of these glass doors. First of all, are about 700,000 pounds. They're very heavy, but they are very freaking heavy. Hey, can you help me get this up? Gosh. I can't even do it, man. But anyway, see how there's holes? There's only 2 holes on this one, right? Only 2 holes. No other holes. That's important. If you can just grab.
You want to use this foam to set it on?
Huh?
Use it to like lift up, kind of.
Yeah. I just. So we got, that's the one I just showed you. Now look at this one. This one has 1, 2, 1, 2. So this, with the 2, is the sliding door. That one is the one that stays stationary. So that's important to note. So what you want to do next is take the stationary one, and then you have all this stuff right here. So the roller, as you can see, it says roller. This says roller guard. Let me show you what they look like. Okay, so these are the rollers. They go on the top hole right there. And these are the roller guards. They go on the smaller one. This just makes it so the door can't, you know, be lifted up off of the rail, which this is the rail right here. Okay, this is basically the guide bar, right? This is what goes up top, and there's some things to know. These you can adjust up and down. These, which go into the top of this. So these right here, this unscrews. This just threads off, right? You can spin these off. Boom, boom, boom. And that just sits in the door like that, and then you screw these in on the other side. Those have how is there silicone on this, man? These have a little bit of play left to right. So when you get this bar up in the shower, these have a little bit of play left to right. So if they don't line up, don't freak out like we did, because you can adjust these left to right. But not much. It'll be enough to where it'll fit on the two holes here on the glass. So something also to note is you will likely have to cut this bar, and you can only cut it from this side. You do not want to cut it down here, because these do not move. Whereas these, it's just a little Allen key in here, and they'll slide as much as you want. And then lastly, these come off, and then this right here comes out. See how I'm spinning it a little bit? This you can unthread and it comes out. So basically, think of these as like little slip couplings. All right? Because you'll slide them onto the bar, and then once these are affixed to the wall, the little stainless things here, you'll thread these on, and then you'll tighten them with these Allens. So that's important to note. Next, grab your measurement tile to tile. Make sure you're in that tile, but not the bead thing there, but the actual tile, like inside. Yeah, because we're going to trim the bar here. That's the purpose of this. Nah, fool, inside, on the inside.
What do you mean?
Because this is going inside the...
Yeah, I know that, but look, when you measure, it doesn't have to be exactly, it's right there will tell you your measurement.
Alright.
58 and a half, but then you have to close it.
58 and a half, okay.
Basically the same bottom, but
Okay, so you wanna be able to get this in here. So now the next step would be, you want to account for your little slip couplings. So let's put this back on here. Wait, they go, yeah, they do go like that. So these go, it's a little burry, huh?
mm-hmm.
Do I have a file in here? There you go. So those just go on like that, and then you can do what Brent was doing. And where am I? Here you go, right here. So just put them on like that, and then just tighten them. I would actually put these down further, because we're having to account for these, because these are gonna go like that, and then you thread this on. So I would just put this down a little bit like that, just so we can Yeah. And if you remember something that I don't, you know, tell me.
But this is the thing. We're gonna want, so when we put this thing against the wall with the glass on it, we're gonna basically want this to extend out.
So those are gonna go like that. So you have, these don't have to be directly up against like that, because you have a lot of threads in this thing and there's a lot of play. So these are gonna be ended up mounted up there like that, and then you put the bar in place while someone holds it, and then you just scooch those up and then thread them on. So let's do it on that side as well. So those suckers just go on there like that.
Here comes the hard part. Lifting stuff.
So once you have those on, then you want to put these, what we were talking about earlier, you just unthread these guys like that. So you can see they have a little bit of play in them. So just pull those in and I'll thread these on.
You're gonna have to adjust this one over here a little bit.
So this one needs to be adjusted. So see how this is not lining up? That is okay. If you could hold that real quick, I'll grab. So all you got to do is see the Allen right there. So you just loosen it up just a little bit. Yep, see? And then once it's in there, tighten it back up. It took us a second to figure that out yesterday because I was like, the glass does not line up with the friggin' holes or the thing here. And we're like, yep, we're gonna have to send it back. Okay. So we got these. So now, get somebody that's strong. Where's my, did I bring the levels in here? Oh yeah, it's right here.
So mark it and then.
So this is important. You wanna put that sucker in there and then we'll make it plumb. Okay, so now you have the shower door in the little slider here, and then you have it up, and you have it up, all right? You know what, dude? We need to, oh, there we go. Okay, so now make sure this is up against here. We're making it nice and straight, nice and level, and then you want to take, where is my level? Where's, oh, there it is. Take that, I got the. So then you want to make sure this is nice and level up here. So this is going to have, you can play with that a little bit, but that's nice and level. So while he's making sure it's plumb, I'm making sure this is nice and level.
You got a tiny LED.
Yeah. And then let's just make sure these are nice and tight. Can you push those in?
Yep.
Okay, those are tight. Can you push this side in? Okay. What do you need the Allen key for?
The coupling.
That's not gonna move. This?
Like this.
Oh no, that's all right. I can get the thing in there. Okay. So you want to plumb this up. You can also use the corner here, but I don't recommend it. So tell me when you're nice and perfectly plumb.
Right there, we're good.
Okay, now let me just make sure this, so that I need to raise it just a touch. So then once you do that, what we did is we take a marker and you just take a marker and go make a mark around like that, both sides. Got your marks, don't worry about this. The little things will cover that, and if it doesn't, that easily comes off. So we got it right here. So now you just put that in the center, and then you mark the dot, and then you drill it. Simple. Got our marks. Now I am very impressed by these right here. It's for, you can drill tile. These worked really well. Now the directions say they want you to use a 3/8 bit to drill this hole, which the 3/8 is the biggest one in here. It's the one in the middle right here. That's a 3/8, right? That is entirely too big, and we used the step down from it, the one on the far right, which is a 5/16. So 3/8, I don't know why they would recommend that, but it would have been entirely too big. But these are good, really good. It drilled this tile perfectly, no cracks, anything. Very impressed with these bits. But you can also use bits like this. These are also good. They're like little hole saws. Okay, so drill your holes in the tile, and then it comes with these little anchors. They work really well, surprisingly. And they come with screws. And it also comes with a little Allen bit for these screws. So again, this tool, put it in your center here. Just give it a light tap. I mean, you could even do it with your fist. You really don't have to do it that hard. Holes are drilled. Got the little hangers in there. This side goes against the wall. See the two little holes? That side goes against the wall. Okay, so now you got this bad boy. Remember, that is the little slip coupling. So you just line both sides up, and then you take this and it just threads right on like that. See? It's pretty cool. And you got a lot of play with these threads. It doesn't have to be super tight, because you also have these, which will tighten it. But you can get it nice and tight if necessary, if you want to. But we don't want to wrench those down yet, because we still need play in this to put the door in. And then these are the stops for the rollers. So, you know, people can't just smack it against the wall and break something. But that's in there. Now, the hardest part of the job is getting these stupid little things on here. These are just these set up against the tile. It's kind of like little waterproofing things. I still caulked these to the wall using a little bit of Lexel sealant. These suckers are hard to get on there. All right, you need help lifting that in there? Or are you good?
I'm good. If you want to get on,
I'm gonna stand right here and line it up. You get what I'm saying? Line these up. So you're gonna want to put the bottom in the track here. This is the only piece of the glass that goes in the track. And make sure it's all the way in. And it is kind of a struggle. You got to really push it in there to get it. There it goes. Then you also want to slide it towards the wall. So also make sure it's... So now... There you go. Okay, so now we may have to adjust these again, but we'll get them.
because of this seal.
Oh, push a little harder. Well, so we're gonna want to adjust these over. There you go. And then once those are, nope, you want to tighten it like that. And then they just go on like that. And then same with this one here. That one's already loose. There you go. And then, whoops, I did it again. And just tighten that sucker down. Like so. I probably should have gotten that a little tighter down there. But I'll do that here in a sec. And then these just screw on. Okay, now that it's in, you can go ahead and tighten these up. So now, rollers. So those come off. Those come off here. I'll show you. So this will spin. You want to hold this. It's kind of hard. I don't know what the deal is. This one's hard to get off like the ones yesterday. But there, that one's easy. That one's just coming right off. There you go. So then you have this. And then so you have two more holes here. That's for the slider or the handle that goes on the outside, and the rollers go on the outside. The reason why is because you're gonna set that door in here, and the rollers are gonna go like this, and that door is gonna go behind this. If that makes sense.
Nice if they had like
Something to note. I don't know what it was, but the one we did yesterday, these rollers, for whatever reason, one of the rollers is really hard to get the screw out of there. And this one's harder than the one from yesterday. So that happens to you. You're just gonna have to put channies on it. And then there's nothing to really explain with this. You got the handle. It's pretty self-explanatory how to put that on. So I'm not gonna go into that. And then you put the door in. And it just slides nicely. And then those little pieces go here, so someone can't lift up on this. But now these, we'll talk about these. These are stops, they go on the top. So as you can see, you do not want this smacking against there. So you want to put it just a little bit before, like right there. Just a small crack. And then you just set those, and then you tighten it up top with an Allen key. And then, as you can see, the door just slides into that. This one turned out really nice. It's just so smooth and so nice. This really is a nice shower door they're $500. I got both of them for like $9.98. So that turned out really good, man. Yeah, these little guys just go right up in there like that. Sorry, it's all good. And then the door basically can't come off of the rail. My one complaint about this is I would have liked for this rail to be a little bit more sturdy and the connections to the structure to be more sturdy. Because these doors, you got to admit, these are pretty heavy, no? These doors are really heavy. So I'm just a little disappointed in how they connect. I would have liked to maybe see some more support down here somewhere, or maybe up top. I don't know. But these doors are freaking heavy. I'm telling you. So let's just go on right like that. Whoops.
Good deal.
Okay, so while Brent's putting on these little wing things, remember this? So this just goes. It's a beauty plate. It goes right in here. Cut it to length, and then it just. So we're gonna have to cut it right about here, and then that will just sit down inside of this to make it look a little prettier. So I'll cut that. When we were trying to cut this with the bandsaw, this thing is the cheapest metal you could possibly ever imagine. So you might want to cut it with a hacksaw, because the bandsaw was just tearing right through it. What were you about to say?
It's because it's where it folds on the lip right there.
Oh, yeah.
The stuff it just wants to break on the seals. It's way too thin.
Yeah. Okay, so I cut this, and then you just stick it in there, right like that. The little seal for this is, there you go. The little seal, how do we, I'm gonna have to, it's that. Got the stop set right there, and then these little flange thingies, we just kind of cut them at an angle to make it look a little fancy, so it doesn't hit. And then you put this guy on the end, and then we will set the stop up here. I'm going to make sure this stop, you can do it about like, that's big enough to get out, right? So then that's in place, and then put your Allen key, tighten that sucker down, and then it stops there, and then it stops right there. And you have a little hand thing right here. I would say that is a nice install there, Brent. And then we use alcohol, and we just kind of wipe it down to get all the prints off and whatnot. That's beautiful. That looks really good. So as you can see, what I was talking about in the beginning of the video, you know, you can have a smaller tub and still do this. But let's just say it was a foot shorter this way, right? When it's closed, your shower would look like this. So if that bothers you, it's okay. But this, you can cut these to size. So it's not that big of a deal. Anything you gotta say there, Brent? That looks good, man. Very good.